Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here. And I hope you had a chance to catch the videos this week. I did kind of a podcast style, mainly because I was having a very rough week with my mold treatment, and it takes its toll on my appearance. I did, however, discover that my air traffic controller headset here has done a much better job with audio, so bear with me as I look like I'm landing planes here. But yeah, it was a challenging week, and I thought I'd share that just because, I walk my talk, and the lessons that I've learned, the wisdom that I share, are from repeated failures. I didn't just read about it in a book. I went ahead and just lived that shit out, figured it out on my own, and I continue on a daily basis to have humbling experiences. So. Uh, And I got to share this one because the only reason this video is coming to you right now is because TJ from the Microsoft Help Desk was so generous in helping me fix my camera issue on my laptop. I had an ancient laptop that had no security features on the camera, so I'm getting ready to do this video. I've been doing the podcast versions. I haven't been using my camera. And I took my sleeve and I cleaned the camera off. And I'm like, why won't my camera work? The hell's wrong with my camera? I'm legit, an hour trying to figure out what button on my device. I'm looking up like help articles online and everything else, right? There's a slide. A little slide. That was it. That was it. So y'all, don't be afraid of looking stupid because I've probably already done it. I hope you find that encouraging. All right, so for the weekend, we're going to go ahead and use the Rebel deck, get some humor going here. Because my God, some days I feel like my own walking comedy show, and I'm not even trying. All right, let's get our topic for today. What do we got? What's some wisdom for today? Let's get it. Well, all right. Oh, hey, get the fuck out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. And, we talked about that with our series this week. Overthinking. Overthinking is probably one of the most crippling things that we do. And it's, if you know anything about astrology, I'm a Gemini rising and a Scorpio sun. So part of me is all about the head and part is all about the heart. However, I default to my head. Very much an intellectual, so I will think something absolutely to death. If you watch the series, I talked about my real estate investing journey where you could not have overthought it to more of an extreme than what I did with no action. I wanted to get all the answers first. I wanted to know and have certainty that everything I was going to do was going to work out. I didn't want to take a risk. I didn't want to jump into something and fail. I failed anyway. I failed because I never took action. I spent all that time, money, energy. My God, I had half a library of books on real estate investing. Some of them I'd read, some of them I hadn't. I legit went to seminars, webinars, workshops. I had a coach. I joined organizations, paid fees, did this, did that. I could have bought a property with what I invested in the training for something I never actually did because I wanted to flip houses. And I could have done the work myself. Like I do construction work and stuff. So even at that, like the expense was going to be time, but I was going to not like I was looking at it from the financial aspect of that's a lot of money. That's scary, especially if you're working with investors because then not only did you fail, you lost their money and they're going to want that back. I'm like, ooh, this is scary. There are people out there who didn't put near as much time or thought into it, and they've made fortunes off of flipping houses. Obviously, not my path, but I'm sharing that because not we can never know the outcome of something in advance. And I know for me personally, that's been something that has held me back in pursuing things because it's like that overthinking and overanalyzing and telling myself that, you know, if I just get a little more information, I'll be ready. If I just do this, I'll be ready. Now, mind you, if I will, I've learned how to shut my brain up. And when I can get my brain to shut up, get in my heart, and listen to my intuition, I know. And I was so close. There was one house. I ran the numbers, I did all the thought stuff, right? It looked good. And I was like, this is it. I mean, like it's just intuitively, I was like, this is it. This is the house. This is the one I'm going to flip. And I didn't. Had I acted on my intuition, because it was right before the housing market took off. So my initial investment would have been so small compared to what the value of the house would have been, even as it sat, had I done nothing, let alone had I done the remodel on it that I had in my head, the vision that I had for this house, and the budget that I had to work with. I was like, yeah, this could work. Okay, had I followed my heart, I could have sold it for like triple the initial investment, including the remodeling and the repairs and everything. And I'm like, one of these days, I will take my own advice and follow my heart on these things. And long story short, obviously, I didn't continue to pursue the real estate investing because I did not have the gut for it. You know, that was not going to be my path because when I looked at the finances, I'm like, it's one thing to make a mistake that costs like $1,000, but when you're looking at $100,000 or to me, that's just scary. I'm not like, I don't even go to casinos. I'm not a gambler. I'm like, if I walk in and I have $5, if I put that $5 in a machine, I may not have $5 anymore. I may have 5,000, but I may have nothing. And I don't like those odds. That's, I don't have any control over the outcome. It's just chance. Where, we talked about reverse engineering. You come up with a plan and steps and you readjust and, you control the movements and you can course correct and veer. And with that, you just like, yep, ah, shit, it's gone. Hmm. I don't like that. But truly, the more we can learn to moderate and balance head and heart, we are programmed, trained, inclined. Our entire educational system is geared around using your mind because that's where we process information. That's what they're teaching us to do is use our brain. However, if we aren't equally trained in how to listen to our intuition, our emotions, the softer sides of our guidance system, we're not in balance. And that's something that I learned later in life as an adult was that, wow, because when I speak, I don't say, well, I think, I'll say, I feel like. I'm a feeler. And for me to be so much in my head is outside of my normal processing system. Like, that's an integral part of who I am is I feel things. I intuit decisions. But because as a child, I was told, well, you can't let your feelings run your life. You can't make all your decisions based on feelings. So I kind of shut that side off and went into my head. Well, I tend to be a very intellectual person anyway. I like information. And so I ended up a chronic overthinker who missed so many opportunities, or uh, would get so far ahead of myself in something that, like I talked about the tree, you have to have a tree before you can branch out. I'm all up in the branches, not realizing that I don't even have a tree. You know, I'm scaling a business that has yet to sell one product because I've gone over here, which is a whole lot of overhead to invest in something that hasn't sold a product yet. I had to get in my brain, like I had to get it instilled in my thought process that, wait, don't worry about step 7 yet. Get through 1, 2, and 3. That's later. Focus on 1, 2, and 3. And when you get 1 and 2 done, look at 4 and 5. Don't get so far ahead of yourself that you're completely out of range of what matters at this point. And we can do that in life too. We can come up with all kinds of scenarios in our head that we're trying to cross a bridge we can't even see. And at the end of the day, we may never get to that bridge anyway. So trying to stay present in any situation in our day-to-day lives, staying in touch with our heart and not getting so carried away in our head that we're not even close to reality anymore. Have you ever done that with something where someone makes a comment and you start just going off on this crazy ass tangent of, I wonder what they meant by that. And like, it's almost like that game of telephone. Like by the time you get to the end of the thought process, it has no resemblance whatsoever to the comment that was even made. And you've taken yourself on this tumultuous emotional journey through this whole scenario in your head that will never play out. So keep your brain under control. And there are several ways to do that. And we've talked about quite a few of them on this channel. But if you start to catch your brain going off on an adventure, you can tell yourself, wait, this is not a safe place for my brain to go. Or, I'm not even being realistic right now. Let's get back to reality. And if your brain is still wanting to veer off and take its own little journey, get in your body, get present, really present, pull your energy in, envision sucking your aura into your gut, right in your belly. Put your feet on the floor, touch things, look at things, smell, listen to the sounds around you, get present in the moment. Okay, this is what's happening right now. Is there anything wrong with this present moment? And it's just about teaching our brain to behave. It's like putting a leash on it. That's as far as you can go right now. Come back, sit, behave. So I hope maybe some of those things are helpful for you. I know myself as a person who, if you're an imaginative person, you're creative, your mind can conjure up all kinds of bullshit that you'll never have to deal with, and you will traumatize yourself just because your brain was bored. So think about things that you can focus on in those moments, positive things. Like I love to go on a complete tangent of gratitude. If my brain starts going down an ugly road, and I'll do the, that is not a safe place to go, the leash, sit. And if it starts to sit, but it keeps doing this deal, I will focus in on what I'm grateful for, bring myself to the present moment, and start fresh. Sometimes our brain just needs a good smack. Knock that shit off. Kind of a reset. So, anyway, I know that that's something a lot of us struggle with, especially when we're initially working with creating new habits and new belief systems, rewiring our thought processes. So, bit of a tangent. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, I hope a few of those things were helpful for you. And I also hope that you're having an excellent start to your weekend. I will talk to you soon.